Now let's take a look at arguments in an example, and I want to use this example to first of all show you arguments in action in code. And then I also want to point out how passing arguments as values, or passing parameters as values, however you want to say that, how it really works and how it can confuse you. Now I'm going to build a purposefully confusing example here and show you how you can confuse yourself, but it also shows you what's really going on. Notice now I have created a solution here, a new project called arguments example. Then I've created a source file inside there, argx.cpp, and that's what we're coding in. And I've built these just like I have all the other examples in the course. You will find this arguments example in your work files folder or something very, very similar to this. And just go take a look at that and step through it and keep working through these simple examples to understand. And excuse me, I bumped the mouse there. Okay, now let's start off. We've got our include statement for IO stream, so we can do our cout and inline stuff. And then we're going to use our main function here. And notice I have already created some integers, x, y, and z. Now x is going to basically be used to get the answer. Y and z are going to be passed up to a separate function. Okay, so let's start off, and first of all let's create a function, and we'll create it outside the main obviously, and we'll return an integer, and we'll call it add this, and we'll take an integer n, integer y, and integer z. So that's what's going to be passed in, and then we will write the simple code. We're going to say z equals z plus 12. All right, now then we'll just return y plus z. All right, so basically we're going to take z, we're going to add 12 to whatever we pass in, then we're going to add y to that, so whatever we pass into y comes here, and then we'll return that back to something that calls it down here. All right, and then I will show you a little comment up there to help you understand it a little bit later. So what are we going to do here? First, well, we're going to let x equal, and notice x is equal to 0 right here. So we're going to say x equals, and we're going to call add this, and we're going to pass it y and z. All right, now pretty straightforward. So we're going to call add this, which means we're going to call this, and we're going to pass it y and z. Y is 4, z is 5. Y is going here, 4 here, and z is 5 right here. Now let's create some things to look at the results of what we get. And the first thing we'll do is we will say x equals, and we're just going to call add this y z, and I could have just as easily put x here. All right, and actually I'll just do that. How about that? Let's just put x there, and then we'll do a standard inline, and then to make it a little easier we'll do another standard inline. And I've got a bizarre something going on here. I went the wrong way, and so that'll take care of that one. And then let's just copy this so you don't have to watch me type over and over and over. We'll make this a little easier to read. We'll take a look at what y equals, and so we'll just put y here, and we'll remove one of our ends, and then we'll do the same thing here. And right here we will see what z equals. All right, and we will put z in here. All right, now the thing that I really want to show you is that when we call this, something very interesting is going to happen, and it's going to happen right here. Okay, and I'm just going to paste that in. This z, this right here, this statement is going to change the z that was passed in right here, which is not the same as the z that we sent from right here, because this z got up here, it made a copy of it, and this z right here that's 5 we never actually changed. Now how will we know that? When we look at this value right here, we will see the z that was here, and keep in mind we're talking about scope here, because this z is good within these two braces, and this Z up here is good within these. Okay, so this Z got sent up, a copy was made, this Z stayed the same, this Z was copied, went in, we manipulated that Z. When we return y plus Z to X here, you will see this Z went in as 5, got added 12 to it, that's 17 plus 4, that should be around 21 if my math's right. So anyway, let's just run this, see if it'll compile up, see if I fat fingered anything here, and see if that actually works out. And again, I'll go out to Documents, I'll go to Visual Studio 2010, go to my projects, there's my arguments example. I'll right click on Debug, hold down the Shift key, open Command Window, and I'll call arguments example, and sure enough, that is exactly what has happened. Now let me pull this down so that you can see it, and let's talk about it. X equals 21, that is this line right here. Y plus Z. Now y is still equal to 4 and Z is equal to 5 right here. Okay? Now notice this Z is equal to 5, but clearly we took the Z here and added 12 to it, so it should be 17. Alright, so look at this example in a quiet room away from the kids, dogs, TV, and everything, and you can see that this Z right here got copied up here, and we actually didn't change this. Now, had we passed by reference or we'd passed a pointer, we would have changed that. Alright, so that's just a quick example of passing arguments and what happens when these things get passed by value.